Right, welcome aboard the crazy train. This is going to be pre-production made easy, and I'm just going to show how you can accomplish all your tempo mapping and getting rid of most of the guesswork out of a recording by having everything planned out ahead of time. And this is assuming you already know how the song sounds and how long each part is and exactly the notes that you're singing and playing and stuff, but you should probably have a pretty good idea, or recording's going to get real expensive really quick. Anyway, so I'm using Guitar Pro here for this, but there's a few other programs that'll do the same sort of thing, and in this case I'm just going to use Fiend Club by the Misfits. It's real simple, and this was transcribed by Hating Humans. All right, so great. Thank you, Hating Humans, for transcribing this. So I'm going to look at, here's the drums. You know, it's a drum notation right here. I can solo this drum track. So this is all written out. We know how many measures this is. We know what drum is playing. And, you know, of course, when you go to record, it's not necessarily going to be exactly this, but this is, if I really want to know exactly how they meant it, it's all here. Here's all the drums and everything. Here's the bass. And in this case, thankfully, they show the tuning. It's down a half step. So everything's here. I'm just going to play this whole thing real quick. Okay, so here's the guitar. Here's the vocals. And notice that some of these I have showing in tablature. Some of them I have showing in standard notation. You could do tablature for either, or you could do both. You could show tablature and standard notation, just tablature, just standard notation, whatever you want. All right, anyway, so we know everything that's happening here. We know how long each part is. We know when there's rests. We know how long the notes are. One of the coolest things here is I know what note was supposed to be sung. And you know how many hours you blow guessing what note did they actually mean to sing? That sucks. This takes care of all that. And also, this gives you a guide track for how you're supposed to sing. We are the Fiend Club. Like, you can actually, I used to have to do this from time to time with singers. You play a guitar, or somebody's got playing a keyboard, and that's their guide track. It's all doable. It's all done right here. So, you know, we know the whole song. And if I had to, I could print this out or open up the program and look at each part that needs to be there, but you can do something even cooler. So, and this is the important part. So I'm going to go to File, Export. And I've got a couple choices here. I can export the MIDI. So watch this. I'm going to, let me make a new folder here. Pre-production example. All right, I'm going to export the MIDI right here. Blammo. Okay. What I can also do is export the audio. And I'm going to tell in this one, create a file for each track. I could do a metronome track. I could do a count-in. I don't really need that. Turn on normalization, make this real easy for myself. So we're going to create a file for each track. I'm going to tell it file type wave. You could tell, actually got a lot of choices here, but I'm going to do wave, make it simple. Export. and pre-production examples, and save. Doing this all in real time, okay? And here's all our files. So let's take a look at what we get here. So I'm going to make a new project. Let's put this in downloads, pre-production example. It was club. All right, so the first thing I got here is this MIDI file. What do I do with this MIDI file? When I drop this in here, it's going to ask me, expand 5 MIDI Reaper tracks, import the MIDI tempo map, the project tempo, to project map, and here we go. If there was different tempos in here, let's do that actually. I'm going to clear this out. This isn't actually how this song goes, but let's just say that we had a, let's say we had some changes here. Let's say, the tempo. Let's say that at, where is the, hold on, let me figure it out. For chorus 2, I'm gonna speed up chorus 2. So that's measure 50, and I'm gonna put it back to the other tempo at measure 58. Okay, so that's how we're gonna do that. Measure 50. And we're gonna change that. Let's see, zoom out a little bit. Sorry, don't usually do this part of it too much. There's 58. Put one there, and measure 50. So from here, I'm going to turn this up. I'm going to change this to 160. Okay. Forget it, 159, whatever. And then it's going to go back to 135 at 58. Okay, so I'm going to apply that. And so now we got a tempo change right here. So I'm gonna re-export all this stuff. It wasn't too bad to do anyway. So you do the MIDI, and you may not even want the MIDI, or you may not even want the audio, but I'm going to do both just to show it. So here's the MIDI. Audio, export audio, wave, create a file for each track. And I think if you don't do that, it'll just mix the whole thing. Normalize and export. Okay. And now I'm gonna go back to Reaper. Okay, so let's try this again. So I'm gonna get this MIDI file. I'll drop it in here. Import the MIDI tempo map and check it out. Now I have my tempo. So now it's going to automatically pop the tempo up. Should have been at the right place. See, I probably did something slightly wrong here. Five. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, you see a slightly off. You could easily fix that. This is some kind of fractional conversion thing that's going on, but no big deal. Hey, Maddie. So you may not want this MIDI, but you may want to just use the MIDI in order to tell what's going on. Or let's say, man, you just cannot get the drums, so let's just add them. So there's SSD sampler. So if I had to, and absolutely had to, and couldn't record any real drums, now I can just import and use the sounds that I want. Right. Now I got everything. And so that's the MIDI. Let's say I didn't want to use the MIDI. Let's just create a whole new file. Or actually, I'm just going to undo everything here. Now we got no tempos, or do we? Let's get rid of them all. Move time signature marker. Okay. Also just grab the audio tracks, right? So let me pull these in real quick. Drop them in. Same time position on separate tracks. Now notice I don't have the tempo map on here. No big deal for what I'm showing here, but that's the whole point. Drop that MIDI in there. It'll give you the tempos. I think you can actually do it depending on how you set the export options. It'll give you a tempo map. So now what do I got here? So that is the vocals. Let me turn these down because I did normalize it. Oops. Okay. That is the main vocals. This is background vocals, guitars. Bass. Drums. So now, let's say the drummer can't make it to the first recording. I'll just play these drums. If the guitar player can't make it to one of the recordings, I'll just play this guitar. So as we go on, we can easily replace each part that needs to be replaced. We know what note is played. We know when everything is played. There's no guessing at all. Not an iota of guessing, which is so nice. And then when later on we record the vocals and I need to tune the vocals, I don't have to guess what note that vocal is. I can just look. I could put the MIDI up and I could have a piano roll showing. In fact, let's do that again. Drop the MIDI in. Sorry. I keep forgetting how to do this at the very beginning. So I'm getting that double right there. So when I'm looking at the MIDI, like if I have, here's the vocals right here. Open in MIDI editor. And if I were to put this, actually, I don't want to use Diamonds mode. What am I looking at? Just want to see the vocals. Okay. And probably don't want it in diamond mode. I probably want to see it in blocks, right? Now I can just look, what note is it? Right there. Tells me. That's a D, right? I know how long it is. I know what note it is. No guessing. Everything's easy. And that's the whole point of doing this ahead of time. You think of how crazy many hours this takes. Hey, Maddie. I didn't take a couple of weeks off. I had a very busy couple of weeks. So I didn't get a chance to get streaming at all. I have so much mixing and stuff to do. And I got tons and tons to do to catch up. But this is something kind of internal here. Like want to show. I hate guessing when I'm doing a recording. When were you supposed to hit this drum? How many measures was there supposed to be? So it's so easy to tempo map everything in Guitar Pro or any of the better engraver apps. And that just makes life so much better. So anyway, I will hopefully next couple of days. I actually have to play a show on Saturday that I'm really nervous about. And there are going to be 2 bands after that. And I'm the guy who mixes at that club. So I can't mix myself. I don't know how we're going to handle that. And then as soon as we're done, I got to get all my crap off the stage and get the other 2 bands on. So pretty nervous. Hopefully I'll do some more streaming this week. If not, after the Saturday show.